day to all our viewers out there. My name is Heinrich Neetling and welcome to Mathematical Literacy. In today's lesson, we'll focus on the topic of measurement, but more specifically on area and surface area. Now, as per usual, let me quickly share something interesting with you. Did you know that the surface area is useful because it tells you how much material is required in order to cover the object? For example, how much paint is needed to paint a hall? Surface area is the sum of all the faces or surfaces of a three-dimensional shape. Alright, so I found that to be quite interesting. So what are our lesson objectives? So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to, first of all, define area as well as surface area. You must be able to distinguish between diameter and radius. Also be able to distinguish between length and breadth, also referred to as width. You must also be able to use appropriate formulae successfully. And remember, in our subject, we normally provide you with the formula, but sometimes it's necessary for you to select the appropriate formula. Okay? Then also, you must be able to identify and work with the correct units. Okay? So lastly, also important, calculate area as well as surface area. Guys, I hope that's all clear to you. Let us quickly look at, as I've already mentioned, the focus of our lesson. We will focus in this lesson specifically on area as well as surface area by means of looking at explanation as well as some examples. Now let's quickly look at other important terminology, language that is important for our lesson today. So first up, I've indicated here that breadth or width, that is how wide something is, right? What else is important? The length. What is length? It's the measurement between 2 points, right, in a straight line. For example, the length of your bedroom. Then, other important thing, especially when we're going to work with circular objects, is your diameter. That is the straight line, right, passing through the center of a circle and touching both circles, or touching the circle at both ends, for that matter, thus dividing the circle into two equal parts. And then we have, of course, what we know as the radius, right? The radius is half of your diameter. We are saying here it's the distance from the center of the circle to any point on that circumference of the circle, right? We also refer to that as half of your diameter. Guys, I hope you are still with me. Also important, when we work with circular object, is pi. And we know pi, we have the value of 3,141592,645, and that value continues. But in mathematical literacy, we decided that we're going to use the approximate value. And that's what we're going to use today in our lesson as well as 3,142. Okay, so please keep that in mind. We're going to use the approximate value. Now, let's look at some of the important formula, right, when we calculate area. So first up, I indicated here, area of a rectangle. We use length times width, right? There we can clearly see in the diagram as well. When we calculate the area of a square, we're going to say it's length multiplied length, right? Or we can say it's your length squared. Okay, so we can see there, side squared or length. Then, in terms of a triangle, how will we calculate the area of a triangle? We say it's half your base, right? Which will be this part here, multiplied by your height. And then, when we calculate the area of a circle, we say it's pi multiplied by radius squared. Okay, as I've indicated, it's important to know when to use which formula. Okay, guys, let's now look at or do a quick practice. And I want you to work with me, answer the questions to the best of your ability. Right, so question number 1, we want to know, define surface area. Right, so what can we say? Surface area is the total exterior area, right? Total exterior area of all exposed surfaces. Let me write that down here. All exposed surfaces of a three-dimensional object. Guys, are we clear? It's the total exterior area, right? Let me just fix that area of all exposed surfaces of a three-dimensional object. Let's look at another question. So question number 2, we are saying choose the correct answer. Now let's see what we need to choose from. The formula for calculating area, okay, of a circle. So we are looking for the formula. Is it A, where we say area equals pi times radius squared, or is it B, where we say area equals 2 times pi times radius? Now if you look at this, I'm sure you'll agree that that's the correct answer, right? When we calculate the area of a circle, we say it's pi times radius squared. Okay, so that one is definitely not correct. Okay, those who joined us last week, you will know this is the formula for calculating the circumference of a circle. Let's now look at another question. So in question number 3, we are asking whether the following statement is true or false. So units of area is, for example, millimeters squared, centimeters squared, meters squared, squared kilometers, right? In this case, that's definitely true, right? Two-dimensional, and we say when, for example, area of a rectangle, we say it's length times breadth. Can you see the 2 dimensions we are referring to, making this statement then true? Okay, let's look at one last question. Question number 4. Calculate the area of a standard soccer ball if the diameter of it is 22 centimeters. Then, I've indicated here that you may use the following formula. Area of a circle equals pi multiplied by radius squared. Now, important to note here, the diameter is given to us, right? So, we know, if I look at the formula, we want pi, right? And we said we're going to use the approximate value of 3,142. So I already have my formula. I'm going to substitute now, right? Second, I want what? I want my radius. But what was given is my diameter. You know by now that your radius is half your diameter. So half of 22 will be 11. And I indicate this is 11 centimeters. And remember to square that value as indicated by the formula. So now I'm going to simplify by typing in 3,142 multiply by 11 squared. So that will give me area of this soccer ball of 318,182. And remember, it's two-dimensional, and I'm going to square my value. So the unit is squared centimeters. Guys, are we clear on that? Quick practice. Remember, we're going to do more of this as we continue with our lesson. Let us now look at other important information or terminology, right? Language that we use for today's lesson. So I've indicated that area is the surface enclosed by the boundary length of a two-dimensional figure. Okay? Then also units of area, as we saw now in our question as well. Squared millimeters, square centimeters, meters squared, square kilometers. Then we also said the focus of today's lesson is also surface area. So what is total surface area? It's the total exterior area of all the exposed surfaces of a three-dimensional object. The units that we use for total surface area, also the same as with your area, squared millimeters, square centimeters, squared meters, squared kilometers. And then I have a last bullet here that says the only difference between area and surface area is that area refers to two-dimensional object, while your total surface area refers to a three-dimensional object. Guys, let us quickly take a short advert break. After the break, we'll put all of this into context. See you after the break.